Hello, can you hear me? Hello everyone. Can you hear me? Mic check. Can you hear me? Someone can let us know if they can hear us, so that we can start with the session. Can anyone hear me? Mic check. If anyone is talking, I cannot hear you guys. Okay, cool. It's always fun to, if you can unmute and you talk, that should be fine. Feel free to do anything. Anyway, my name is Iladukunda Adelia Fiakle. I'm going to be the instructor for the class today. So yes, the topic at hand is Django in action, and we are going to do a hands-on guide on how to build applications using Django. So yeah, we'll look at how you can design web applications and also other applications you can have. Yeah. And during this lecture, in case you have any problem or you would like to, feel free to stop me so that you can, you can ask your question. Yes, now also you can type in the chat just in case. A bit about me. My name, as I mentioned, I'm Alleluia Fiacre Iradukunda. I'm an AI engineer with 6 years of experience as a software engineer and mainly working with Python. Then if you would like to find me on social medias, this is where you can find me: LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitter or X, and GitHub. That's where you can find me. Then I would like to start with a bit of sharing got cut in the middle. Hopefully this does not happen again. So yeah, you can still see my screen, right? Let's start with a small teaser. You can type in the chat, just a small 1 minute. Type in the chat your answer. What do you think is the answer? I will just give you, 30 seconds. Let's do 30 seconds. And you let me know what you think is the answer. Or you can even unmute and you say it. Wait, you're still calculating. Okay, I see Lodney said 16. Anyone else? For the people who are new here, we've started the session, and today we are going to do a practical hands-on with Django. And we are going basically to write some codes and see how it is. Currently, we are looking at this icebreaker where you can just give the answer. We have one in the chat, and if you've seen your answer, you can let me know. But yes, basically, Lodney is not right because this is a division compared to a multiplication. So it should be, yeah. You remember with BODMAS, you have to start with brackets. So that's 4. Then you go to multiplication. But no, you have to go again with the brackets. So yes, Stephen Otieno is right. The answer is 1. Cool. Now let's dive deep into what brought us here today. So with Django, I'm going to show you how we create a project. Then after we will look into one of the fully tuned projects. And every code that I'm writing, you will find it on this repo. I will share it with Fizz after. Also, I will share the link with Fizz after, so that maybe you can share with you guys in the group or somewhere else. So, what do we do first of all when you want to create a Django project? The first thing you have to do is you have to create a virtual environment. So, why do we need to create a virtual environment? So that we can we can manage all our dependencies in one environment without them interfering with other dependencies for other projects. Yes. So how do we create a virtual environment? This is one way. If you're using Unix, this is the simple way. But for the people who use Windows, it's a bit different. Then you have to activate your virtual environment. Then you will have to install the Django dependency. Sorry. Oh, wrong. Now, during installation, everything is going to be it's going to be got from pip, and then what you have to do is for some unknown reason, my screen gets a bit cut off. So if it happens, feel free to stop me. If I don't catch it yet, feel free to stop me so that you can see what I'm doing. But yeah, if it doesn't happen, hopefully it doesn't happen again. Yes. So hope you can see the terminal. Cool. Yes, we've installed Django, and now what we are going to do is we are going to initialize our first project. So how do we initialize the first project? This is something we do. So you use this tool called Django admin, and then you provide the command start project. This is the first project. Then you give it the project name. So you can say for something like class demo. Then what it's going to do, it's going to initialize, and now you can see that in our directory, which is the class directory, we have a new directory or a new folder called class demo. So if you go inside the class demo now, you will see that we have different files. The first one is the application name, the main application, which is the application of the project that we have, and manage.py. Manage.py, this is the entry file. You will see that this is the one that we use to learn all the commands that will help us to serve the Django files. So let's say, for example, if you were to run this project and you say python manage.py run server, this is the command to start your server, your Django server, and then you can see the served files. So let's look at this. Let's see what's there. Yes. When you initialize a Django project, it comes with this basic template. So this is to confirm to you that everything was configured right and yeah, everything started well. Then let me just remove this one so that it doesn't disturb us again. Now that is not really enough, because if you let me open this with the code editor, then we can see everything in real time when it's happening. Yes, let me do this. Open class demo. This is our project. And then we will be able to see everything as it happens. So you can see already we have our class demo. This is the project. Now, what we have to do is, you can see we have different files. The first one is the most important one here is the setting.files. This setting.files contains all the configurations that you're going to do for the application. So it contains the database connection. It contains the secret keys that you're going to do for your project. This is where all the middlewares are configured, and yes, contains many information. And always you have to set this debug to false when you deploy the application, because it typically, as you saw when we ran this, it shows much of the much information. But when you set it to false, now it's not going to show all the information, which ensures security. Otherwise, plus also if someone was to go, let's say, for example, if I was to do this, you can see it's going to tell me that this URL is not found, and it gives you much information like all the existing URLs. Now with debug force, this will not be the case if we have so attackers can use, basically using debug force, attackers, even if they try to, something, let me do this. Yes. Even if attackers will try to attack you, they will just see this. So which is more like security aware. So this is what you can work with. But during development, it's advised to use debug true, which is equal to true, because it speeds up development. Then yes, we have installed applications. This one we are going to see how we use it when you want to add a new application. Middlewares, this is, for example, if you would like to add authentication, authorization. Then for our templates, we will see this in a wider scope project that I will show you. And then the database connection is done here. Typically, that's the most important parts of the settings.py file. Now, our URLs, this is where we are going to define the URL. So in case you have a route to a particular endpoint, this is where it has to come. So for example, you have one to go to an application that you have created. Okay, maybe let me actually do this so that it's easier. So when you want to create an application, you use the command Django start app, Django admin start app, so to start the application, and then you say your application. Let's say, for example, demo app. Now you can see that a new folder or a new directory is created, and I hear that last week you covered the MVT, right? The MVT architecture for Django. Is this true? If anyone in the group can tell us a bit about the MVT, that would be nice.
Hello.
Yes, yes, okay, I can hear you.
Yeah. From what I remember, is MVT is actually the architecture upon which Django uses to manage or manage the projects, and also
Mm,
coordinates the functionality of the project or app in terms of from the
mm,
user, the database,
mm.
and all other functions.
Cool, cool, cool. Thank you. What you mentioned is really a brief summary of MVT. And yeah, this is what I was looking for. So now we can see MVT. We can see MVT in action. If you remember when I created the class demo of the project, we had these files. These are like the wide level files for the project. But now, if you want to create a particular, let's say, view or a particular template or a particular endpoint, that's when you create an application. You create an application for it. So this might be like maybe clients. This can be like maybe if you're developing a library management platform, this can be like books, this can be like pens or if inventory, something like that. Now inside here, this is where we are going to see the MVT architecture, the model, the view, and the controller, which typically should be the logic. So this is like the controller for. Oh, no, this is for the test. Actually, the controller is any file that you can create that contains the logic for your implementation. Now, the model, this is where you like Okech mentioned. This is where you define your tables. So if you want to use different like a user's table, you define it like this. If you want to use another table, you define it in a particular way. So this is where you define the table. There is another project where we see all of this easily. Then in the view, this is where you serve now the logic of your content so that people can easily it can be accessible by the server. So let's try to do something small here. So let's say, for example, from Django from Django.ulls import path. Yes, and then we put our from import. Oh no, you. Sorry, my bad. A bit from Django.http import http response. Yes, so and then you are going to create a small view that returns a message, a small message request. Then when you're creating a view, you have to pass it a request. Oh, sorry, I made a mistake here. So you have to pass it the request so that you can access all the request.body or the requests that come with when you try to come to this point. So let's return a small thing like an HTTP response where you can say hello world, something like this. Then then we have to also create a ULLs file here, ULLs.py. So this is in the ULL.py. ULL.py is where we put all of our ULLs, so that we define that this particular ULL in this application should go here. So this, for example, from Django.ulls import path. Yes. Now we need to import the views too. because our URL is going to be for the views. And then what we are going to do, we have to create this URL patterns, and then we do we use the path that we imported. Then we specify that on the initial router, this will be like the home router. Basically, we have to put to this view. We have to point to this view, views.home. Yeah. Then we provide this name, which is equal to home. Then for us to access these URLs, first of all, we need now to register the application here in the project. So first, we need to go in the settings. Then we add the application, which is demo app. Then we also have to add the URLs here. We have to add the URLs inside these global URLs. So we say then you put in there, we need to import actually demo app dot URLs, import URL patterns. Then we add our URL patterns here. Yes, now this should be enough. I think, yeah, this should be enough. Now what we have to do is we are going to land the project, and then we see how it goes. We try to access our something is wrong. Let me see. That's not very simple. Something might be wrong with the URLs here that I'm using. So demo app, I think we have to add demo. Let me see something. I'm looking for what is causing the issue, which is the way I'm passing in the URLs. I know this is the issue. No.url. Let's see now. Oh, sharing got disturbed again. I'm trying to figure out how to share it a bit. Can you see my screen again? Okay, cool. So yeah, let me see what seems to be the issue. Oh yeah, I've seen. Oh, sorry, my bad. It's the way I included these URLs. So I have to use include to include the URL patterns that we just defined. And then what I will have to do is say include. Then we include the application, which is demo app, then dot URLs. This is how we should include it. Okay, now let's run our server. Oh, something is still. Oh, sorry. because I named this to ULL. I think so, yeah. Yeah, that's the issue. I should have named it to ull.py. Okay, let me rename this. Okay, interesting. UL house, yeah. Cool, now everything is working. Let's see. You can see our Hello World now. You can see the Hello World application. And basically, you can use this. Sorry. When did my screen go off again? Like, if anyone can let me know when, so that I can repeat what I did.
I think after you've renamed
URLs. Okay.
yes.
Okay, thank you. So after I renamed, I restarted the command, and then everything seems to be working. And then when we go to our app, now you can see that we have Hello World as the main app. And then inside here, the URLs, you can add as many. For example, let's say you might want to add something like home to, maybe home to something hello. Sorry. Someone was calling me. Sorry. So yes, maybe hello from other side. Yes, if we do something like this, then in the URLs, you specify a particular URL. Yes, I think you do home to something like this. Then you say home to. Now you do not need to go back and then redo any adjustments here. You just come here and then you say our home to. Okay, something is weird. Oh, sorry. Something is. It might be because I added a / here. Then do home to. Yes, you can see home from the other side. Cool. Now let's look at the more like I would say an advanced project. I explain a bit about it, we run it, and then we see how it works, which contains all of this information. Does anyone have a question so far? I will take this. Do we have some in the chat? It does not seem to be the case. So I will take the silence as a no, and now I will just do something like, okay, let me pull, no, let me open this project. Let me open this one, then we use it to learn a bit about the MVTT. So, and then the project, okay. And I will unfocus this so that it's easy for us to focus on the right part. Okay, so this is a project, and how does it do? Basically, it's a task management system, something like a to-do application. And what you can do, manage.py run server. Yes. Okay, something is, yeah, I will check. It's because I haven't activated the right virtual environment. Anyway, so I will need to install this requirements.txt, and while they are installing, then I will be explaining. So here we are also using the MVTT architecture. And then, as you can see, we have the task manager as the main project, which contains all of this. And now, this is where you can see that I connect the database. You can see here. Let me show you where is the database connection. Yes, this is where I connect the database. And typically for us to connect the database, it's just that you have to provide the database URL inside this Python dictionary, which is the databases dictionary. And now I provide it, I load it from the virtual environment. Where is my valve? env. So I have to put it in the from the virtual environment, from the .env file, and then yes, we will be able to see it from here. Let me see a bit if my .env is not being shown. Interesting, huh? Something's got deleted unknowingly. So we have to provide our our database URL, and then also the URLs inside here. You can see that now I have my application, which is called tasks, and then this is the one that I provide. Then inside the tasks, you can see we have the init. It's basically an empty file. And then we have the models. If you remember, we talked that in the models is where you define how your table is going to look like. So my table has, and it has one called tasks. So that's the first, that's the table that I'm mainly working with. And then here I provide global variables to capture the items that I need. So for example, my status should be to do, the status will be defined like this, and all choices and all of this. Now, my table will have this title, and Django provides an ORM built-in, which allows you to define the table as you would like. So for example, my title is going to be something like character. Sorry again. Okay. So it shows you like this is the max length. This is the max length you're going to have. This is an equivalent to writing something like create inside the creatable. Does anyone know how here SQL commands, SQL commands? So something like create table, I think. Some table, and then you define the, okay. Yes, you define you define the various table columns. So this is an equivalent to it, and now here you can define, you can give someone called Dizier Parfait. I came a bit late. If you can come back to the settings, yeah, I was in the project. Okay. Dizier, could you unmute and ask a question that you might have, for example? Yeah. Or maybe type it in the chat. So this is the settings. And then if
we lost your screen again.
Oh, even now.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe something is happening in my with my Google. Maybe Google is trying to beat me off there. Yes, so we can see the screen. Let's see the settings.py. Let me touch it a bit for this year, then we continue. So inside the settings, this is where we do the the configurations for the project. And then the key ones are the allowed hosts. This is the one where when you're going to put it in production, then you can say I allow multiple IPs, or maybe I allow connections from this place. When you put a star, it means you allow everything. Now for debug, inside with debug, you specify either to be true or to be false. And when it's true, it means every error you face, it will show all the information. But when it's false, then it only shows the error, nothing else. Doesn't show like the folder path and all of that. Now, when we create an application, for example, here we created an application called task, is where we put inside these installed applications. So all of these others are by default, and this, for example, this one is to collect the static files, so like the HTML, the CSS, and all of those files. Then in the middleware, this is also important, is where you want to put something like if you have certain louds you want to protect. You say, for example, this you must log in order to access this. You must do this in order to access this. This is where you add this. And then we have also the database connection. This is where, so you have to first get your database URL. For example, this is where I get my database URL. And then you add it, you make the connection like this. Basically, just this from Django tables, you pass it the URL. If you want, you can also have this like where you specify the host, the database, the host, the name, and all of that. But for this one, we are using a database URL. And for the max connection age, I think this is in milliseconds. So basically, it's a timeout. This might be in milliseconds, like a timeout to wait for the connection to pass through. So when you specify, you might say, because it's long, maybe because my server is in a far place, I will allow for a flexible timeout, or maybe not. So then the other, I think this is the enough part that we need to care about. Caught the issue before. Now let's try to run this project database here. Let me define this URL, and yes, this is the one. Now also for the URLs.py, this is where you specify which URLs, and then for example, you have to include all the URLs in your tasks. So in the application that you created. And inside the application, you also have to provide different URLs. So for example, you can see the main path is the one to show all the tasks. But now we have another path to create a new task, one to view a task, one to edit a task, and one to do all of this. So these are the different paths that you can have to your URLs. And the views is the same thing. So now, if you remember the other time we were using a view, which was a function, but this time, because we want to make it a bit more, we are using also templates. It's easy to make. We use a class. Have you touched on OOP in Python?
Yes.
Cool. So then inside the class, we have these properties. The first is like the model. This is the model we are going to use. This is the template. This is where the template we are going to do so for this particular task list. So you come here, you see our templates, and then you can see inside the task list, this is normal plain HTML, but which is infused with Django. And now with Django, we don't always start with with doc type and all of the, no. We start with what we need. For example, this is a status. it's easy if I run this project so that we can see it. Yes, we should be able to see it. Let me learn it, then I can explain something when it's happening. Yep. Oh, the allow does not exist. Wow. So many issues. Let me do something. Okay. Yep. Okay, let me do this now. I should be able to. Okay, you can see, Frank, this is our view for the task list. I made some changes and then I block it. So that was the issue. Now I reverted back to the old part before making the changes. So like I was saying, we are looking at the task list, and now this is the view for the task list. This is where we see if you create a task. For example, you create a class something set to do, medium, it just says for today, and you create your task. You should be able to see all the tasks. So this is now you can see that inside the task list, we are starting with the summary. So this is the particular summary that we have. There is no need for us to do all of the other doc type and all of that. Plus now there is a way, you can see that we have across our loads, we have different, like the same coming thing arrays. If you're trying to view a task, you see we have this particular navbar, which is always there. It's specified here in the base.html, which is the base part that we have, and then it contains all of the now, like it contains the navigation, the footer that we have, and then also the base style. And also here we are using Bootstrap so that we can have a good looking UI. So you can see we are loading the Bootstrap scripts inside this, and CSS files, yes, inside here. So coming to the task list, now this means here when you are going to, inside our views, you see we are going to reference the task list. And now we are going to always, we say get query set. This is to return a filtered list and search the query based on the parameters that we received. Now this is for when you're trying to get all of the tasks that we have, and you've added some filters. For example, you say I want to get all the tasks that have, let me check, sorry, give me a second. You say I want to see all of the data in progress, or maybe that have low or medium. So this is when we apply the filters, this is, and you click the filter, this is the method we are referencing. And then this is how, this is what we provide. And then how do we give the data to the list? You can see that when we have the query and the filter, we return our query set. And now inside our template, inside our task list, is where we are going to get, for example, these are this is how we define. We use Python, or this is how we use the code to do particular stuff. So for example, this is our this is for us to show the status traces. And what we do is, where is the status traces? These are like the parts. So this is what we do. For example, we have our label, and then this is how we provide this information all statuses. And now, for example, for priority filter, yes. And then this is how we provide for the select option, this select option. So no, this was for the status. These are the ones that we are providing here. This is how we provide it. And then the status choice, it means you have to provide it in your view. You have to provide it when we will look at it. Then we also look at for example, this is the priority filter. This is how we provide the priorities. And then for the buttons, this is now. But now you can see that this is how we define a URL tag. So when you click on this particular link, this is going to, I believe this is like the one here, this one, and the filters tab. So this is where you are going to see this one is when you click on this particular link, this is how you provide the link in Django. So especially the links within the same project. So this is a particular part there. Now for our tasks, this is how we should provide our tasks. So we go, then we basically, if we have tasks, let's see in the views where the task is. I'm looking at something. Yes. Okay, cool. So you can see, like I said, this is when we make the task list. You remember in this we have said for the task in tasks, and now if you check in our view, we provide a context object, which is the task. This is to define that this class is representing the tasks. And now whenever we reference it, we are getting what it returns, what the class returns. So these are the methods we have inside here. And then the same for the class details. Class details, basically, we are referencing the model. So we retrieve everything from the model, but now providing it we provide the context task. So this is the task list for the task form. It means, let's look at the view for the task. For example, for the create, this is where we use the task form, and then the task form, we reference it also inside here. So we have different forms, and now we have to basically, inside this class form, also you are seeing that different particular components of Django have different definitions. So when you're working with forms, you always have to provide this forms.py, and then you define your forms there. So if you had multiple forms, you'll define them here. Now, what you might be wondering, what is this meta class? This meta class is basically this is a class within a Django class that provides data or information about the class. So in this class, basically, this is a task form. This is where our form should be defined. But now our form should be for the model. Which model? The model task. Which fields does the model have? These are the fields that the model have. Now in the form, what inputs are we going to have? We are going to have the title, we are going to have the description, we are going to have the status, priority, and all of this. And now inside our form, yes, we should be able to see this. You can see the description and the input. The input should be here. So this is the form, the description. This is the status. This is everything. Basically, you can see that these are the inputs. Now, the form, Django is smart enough to know it's going to put there the input for this particular form, and depending on what you are looking for. So, and then these are the labels, for example, but this is just metadata for this particular form. And now Django will use it to fill all the information as you need it. Yes. Then, something about like the task detail. This is in case you want to view this particular task. Yeah, this is actually, yes, you can see when you want to look at the task, we have the task title. And remember, when we look at the model, when we look at, this is, for example, the one in the model, we know that our task has the title, it has a description, it has all of that, all of this information. And now we can reference it to say, this is the task, look at the task, the title, and you put it here. So this is the task and the title. So, oh, sorry, where is the title? Yes, this is the title. I named it class and I forgot that this is how I do it. So this is the title, put it here. This is it overdue or is it not overdue? If it was overdue, we would see here a text for that it's overdue. Then you also provide like the items, for example, do we want to edit? Do we want to delete? Something like that. Then also the information about the task priority, all of that information, you provide it within this template. And now if in the template, you reference the template here, and then you provide all of that information. Something goes for the create, you remember it's the form, and others go. Oh, one thing here is that you can see inside the form, small thing I forgot to touch on. Inside, for example, the task create form, when you click on the submit button, it should reference that the function. Let me look at this. Yes, it might be the form. I'm looking at something. You can still see the screen? Does not see. Okay. As you can see that inside inside our view, we have this method. This method basically, whenever we click on our form, whenever we click on the submit button, this method is going to be called, and now the method is going to basically get the context data of that is put in the form, and then we submit it. Basically, we save it to our model. Yes. I think we are near the time now. I can leave the space for. I can leave time for questions or any input, and then we end. Right. But basically, this is the overview of how the project the Django project, and then you can use it. I've provided the link for where you can find on the GitHub. I've provided the link in the chat. Let me know if you need further discussion. You can reach out to me on any of the links that I've provided, and then we can talk. Yeah.
I have a question.
Yes, please.
I wanted to know about the folders. Just which folder do include basically the codes that now the features, the front end features that include the front end features of like probably where on a activity where probably you will spend much of your time on a day-to-day.
So good question. This is, for example, the question that you've asked. This is, let's say we wanted to add another feature, maybe let's say we wanted to add maybe another layout for something. So typically inside the task, this is where all the logic is going to happen, but you're dealing with both task and the templates. Now, let's say you are trying, and in the tasks, this is in the views, this is where you are doing much of your work. Let's say, for example, in the task list, you might say, we want to remove this part, let's try to remove something in the task list. So this, again, this is a view. Oh, sorry. Let me open this. This is a view, and now you can see it references this template. It depends on what you want. If you want to make logic, you might say, okay, I want to improve my model. The model, which is the task, you might come and you improve it. If you want to improve the template, now this is when you come to this template. And remember, we are working on the tasks. So the tasks template also. Now you look inside the list template, and then, for example, let's say you want to, let's remove something. Let's remove what? In the task, let's remove the description of the task. So yeah, task list, we have, yes, our task. And then let's say you want to remove this description. You can say, if there is a description, you can just come here, you remove this. Then let's see, it should be reflected. You can see it's already done also. So depending on the task that you are doing, you are going to spend much of your time in either the templates or here in the application that you are working on. Yeah. Any more questions? Okay, so I will take I'll take the silence as a no. So thank you for joining the class today. I'll be happy to. Yes, Palfe. Oh, Palfe, we cannot hear you if you're talking.
Hello.
Yes, we can hear you now.
I was asking the source codes. We are not seeing the link.
Okay. Let me share again in the chat, but I had shared in the chat. And again, I will also share it's on GitHub. Oh, I did not scroll so that I did not see some of the questions in the. I see some questions in the chat. So what does yellows.py do in a project? I think I touched on this. What is the difference between ULLs in app and ULLs in the pure ULs.py? I think this is also, I touched on this too. Okay, even Rodney also added more. Please may you share the source code? Yes, please may you pin. Source code. Yeah, I've added the link, and then it should be easy for everyone. I've tried to add so many comments so that it's easy, but feel free to reach out to me to any of my social medias, and we can talk. Thank you, and have a nice day. No, a nice evening. Yeah.